here.
I'm afraid there's just one possible. That's not flying.
Give them two slides.
That's your seat.
Yes.
It's like the class.
All right, David, we okay?
Yeah, make sure we're, one minute, so we're good.
All right. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are we doing? Looking good. Excellent. Well, welcome back. I just found out just a little bit ago from Lynn. Today, 11 years ago, was the first 1 million cups. 11 years ago, 1 million cups in Tampa. So that's awesome. Other than Lynn, was anyone here at that time?
I even found a picture.
Oh, no. Darn it. Well, yeah, Lynn's been here, so she's proof. But how cool is that? This has been part of this community, this Tampa Bay community for 11 years. And here we are, strong, great coffee, great people, great presenters. So welcome back. So I'm Dr. Shane with the Jim Moran Institute through Florida State University. And how many of you are here for your first time? Let me see hands. Look at that. I love that. I love that. Seeing new faces. That's what this is all about, is letting others in your community know what we're doing here and inviting them in. As we all know, entrepreneurship, it can be a very lonely journey, and it's great to have others with like mindsets to walk alongside of. So please share that, invite your friends in, and we'd love to have them. So first off, especially with so many new people, if you are parked anywhere in this parking lot on this block, you will want to take the time right now to go ahead and move it across the street to the larger parking lot across Palm. And for those of you that are new, how did you hear about 1 million cups? Someone share their story. How about you guys? Yeah.
Googling business community networks.
Excellent. Well, with that, let's keep in mind that social media and sharing it works. Google placement works, but remember to take some pictures. We have only one in person today. So when Ryan does get up here in a little bit, take a ton of pictures of him and post it out there in social media.
That's why I showered.
That's what I said, first time in months. Good job. Facebook, it's 1 million cups Tampa. We're on Instagram at 1MCTPA. LinkedIn and YouTube are also 1 million cups Tampa. Please post. Share the love, invite others to come. It's the energy and the feedback that we give as a community that makes this work. There are 2 QR codes on your tables. The first one that is laying down on a sheet of paper, that one is attendance. We are organized by wonderful people here in Tampa, but it is hosted or founded by an organization called the Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City. They want to know how active our chapter is. So when you do that QR code, it lets them know how active we are. So please, the more of us that do it, the more pats on the back we get. Also, when you come back 3 times and more, you start getting recognized for being a repeat attendee, and you might get some swag. So some 1 million cups. Who has some 1 million cup swag in some capacity in here today? Let's hold it up and see something. No one brought their coffee mugs. It's the coffee mug would have been nice. A t-shirt. Okay, we'll use that. Thank you. Well, all right. The other QR code on the stand-up placard, that is invaluable. If you scan that, and if you haven't done it at least once, you will have the opportunity to subscribe to the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center's newsletter, weekly newsletter. It does not spam you. You will basically get one email Tuesday morning telling you about the upcoming events for the next 7 or 10 days. And as those that have been here a lot know that most of these programming opportunities are at no cost. They're just here to help us grow. So take advantage of that. It's highly well worth it. Lynn and the team put a lot of effort into creating that every week, and they do a great job. All right. So as I said, we have two presenters today, but only one in person. So we're going to kick off with one in person first. So everybody, please welcome Ryan Listerman from Selling University.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. So my name is Ryan Listerman. My company is Selling University. And what I've done is create a full cycle outbound sales engine that is for B2B businesses. Basically, I get you more DAM sales. DAM stands for dials, appointments, meetings now. When I say now, I mean I can onboard someone tomorrow and get them appointments by Friday. So what I found in my career, that most people are actually really bad at sales. About 20% of all sales, about 20% of salespeople earn about 80% of all the sales commission. So a lot of people are kind of, dipping their toe in. They're not quite sure what to do. They don't quite have the system involved, and they're not, there's a lot of salespeople out there that are actually just amateurs and not sales professionals. So how I got here, I've been in sales for 20 years. 10 of those years I've been in leadership. So I've scaled multiple businesses to $3+ million in revenue. So when I've scaled those businesses, I understand business, small business, from not just the dollars and cents, gross profit, net margin. I also got the emotions down. Like, I understand the emotions. I've had those sleepless nights where you're like, not sure if the next day you're going to end up on the evening news because you screwed something up that badly. So I get all of that, where you're coming from as business owners. I've been there. I've done it. I'm still doing it. So I'm also the author of a sales training book. It's, that QR code, which you can scan later. It's there. So who's the target audience? Who's this for? This engine is catered and designed for businesses that sell directly to other businesses, whether it's physical services, SEO, any of that kind of stuff, anything with government contracting, stuff like that. That's who we can, basically get you more deals with. Okay, so the problem. Why do most businesses fail from a revenue standpoint? When I talk to a lot of businesses about how they do their marketing, what's the most common response I hear? You guys probably know this response. It's word of mouth. They rely heavily on word of mouth, which is not a scalable process, because word of mouth relies on people, and most people are bad at sales. So most of your sales are coming from people that aren't really, they're willing to refer you, but they're not necessarily willing to go through the sales process to make sure that you get more deals. So a couple of ways I diagnose that a salesperson is an amateur before I bring them on to my team to help me scale a business. There's a couple of things that stand out to me always, and one is that they'll usually kind of set a very strict parameter of what a lead is to them. They want the lead to meet certain criteria, like before we sit with them, we want them to have filled out this form, done this, be available at 2 p.m, have this Zodiac sign. A sales professional, let's say a sales closer, a lead to me is a warm body, got a credit card, and has a problem that I can solve. So if it's those things, that's a lead. The other thing is, usually there's an element of, it's always like, I want to be in sales. I'm in sales. I just don't like being too pushy. That's probably one of the more controversial things I'll say right now is being pushy is part of being sales. There's a difference between being noisy and being pushy. Being pushy is, so there's a lot of what I've found recently is looking at everything is that most of our markets that we're in are oversaturated. And that's the actual, that's a good thing. That's actually the benefit, because that means that that market, there's a lot of money to be made in there. It also creates an opportunity because when the market's oversaturated, that means there's a lot of noise. So if you're the one that can cut through that noise and help your prospect make a decision, that's how you close them. So being that person that cuts through all the noise, and that usually requires being persistent, because usually their objections are just essentially like, hey, I have a lot of people talking to me right now. I have no idea what to make of all this. I don't believe the things you're saying. That persistence helps them come around and be more comfortable and trust you. So being pushy is not being pushy, is doing your prospect a disservice and how you don't get the deal. So that's the real issue, is that's where a lot of businesses don't scale, is their deals just lose momentum. They don't have a system in place to keep them constantly engaged, getting them to the point of saying yes or no. And that's the solution to my problem is a full outbound sales system. So I take it from the initial cold call, or not even initial cold call, but identifying who your ideal client is, the initial cold call, setting the meeting, getting them to sit down, take the meeting, and then talk to them 6, 7, 8, 9 times after the meeting to get them to say yes or no. That's how the engine works is basically hundreds of cold calls an hour, to thousands of leads within with your ideal client profile, and multiple meetings a day. With the secret sauce is yes or no. We don't want a single one of our prospects to just ghost us. We want to get them to get them to the point where they tell us yes or tell us no. If we're getting yeses and nos, that means we're doing the process. We're getting them through the entire thing. And that's basically, that's selling university. I get you more damn sales.
Great job, Brian.
Thank you.
We always start with the first question being, what can we as a community do for you?
Absolutely. I'm always looking for something new to sell. So if you're in this room and your business is B2B, let's talk. There's always a way to there's always some way to figure out how I can help you get a bunch more sales. If you're not B2B, but someone who's in B2B, I will pay you to talk to that person. So I will make you a part-time salesperson for me.
Thank you. And we're going to open up to questions from the audience, but remember to raise your hand so we can go.
Just a quick clarification before we go further. Is your service teaching the person how to do this themselves, or are you actually getting the leads, the calls,
I can do both. Yeah, it's my brand started as a training brand, but I found that a lot of times, I was like, most of the people I was training needed the leads and needed the system, so I just built it. So I can, it depends on what the person wants from me. If they want to be part of the process, I can make them part of the process and train them. If they want us just to do it from start to finish, I can do that as well.
Great presentation. I love the pivot. You definitely spoke to the business owner as part of this, and I concur. When I'm as a banker, when I'm talking to people, I'm like, get out of the way, do what you're good at, and let the other professionals do their thing. It is very hard to train salespeople to be salespeople, and so along those lines, what does the cost look like for someone?
It can vary big time. I have a few different models. Like I have one client where I'm straight up just building, to your point, I'm just building their entire process in-house, because they didn't want to make me a vendor. They wanted to just do it themselves. So I'm just basically consulting. And it kind of, I have a couple of contracts where it's I get a monthly retainer and then a percentage of the deals closed. I have other couple of contracts where they have a short sales cycle where we just work straight off commission of what we close. So usually kind of, it's hard for me to pinpoint a price. It just comes down to what you're looking for.
You offer free consultations.
Yeah. I mean, it requires that free consultation.
For clarity, he is doing much more than providing your company leads. Like if you see people out there, they're like, oh, we'll give you 3,000 leads a month.
Yeah.
Completely different. He is actually weeding through these people. He's
Yeah.
validating that they are ready. Like he said, they've got the credit card and it's up to you to show the determination, how you're, qualifying why you're different and how you're gonna follow up with them and be a good provider.
Yeah,
Great job.
absolutely. I think we had a question over here.
I'm just gonna ask a question regarding if there's a dialer involved in when you said about 1,000 leads.
Basically one I have one seat, so one dialer produces about 1,200 calls a day for me. And I usually from that seat will book him 8 to 15 appointments a day.
And so because it's a dialer, are you advertising that with the brand's name? You're trying to outreach to this customer or prospect?
Because it's not just a dialer, it's one thing to make 1,000 phone calls.
Yeah.
It could just be into the ether. If you don't have a system behind it to capture it all and push it along where it's supposed to go, that's why it's an entire engine all working together that integrates into your CRM, depending on what you use. Or just use my CRM.
What's a dialer?
Oh yeah, so dialer basically you sit down at your computer,
So it's not a person.
you hit start, and then someone pops on your ear, and then you just keep going throughout the whole day. So like my one cold caller will just sit there for 8 hours, constantly talking.
So it is a person.
Yeah. No, but it's a person behind. So it's a real human born in America. That's because a lot of people use foreign vendors. So yeah, no, it's my best dialer lives in Virginia. His name's Daryl.
Nice.
So, yeah.
They have a bunch of other
It's a system
names
that.
Only people our generation.
Right here, and then I'll get you next.
Yeah, so really quickly, the Selling University, is it more one-to-one, quote unquote, coaching, or do you have quote unquote group sessions where you're training and?
So yeah, this Selling University brand, I would say that this is kind of like I would say my coaching in a way. My one-on-one would be kind of consulting. Usually I would say that one-on-one sit down. Any conversation with me, usually you're gonna get some value because we're gonna figure out what you're doing and how you can improve it. I mean, sometimes conversation goes in a way where it's like, hey, I can't really help you right now, but I give you like 5 things to work on. And then, or it can come down to like, hey, let me get into your organization and build out your sales program,
So it's not like a curriculum per se.
Correct. I don't really have I don't have training modules, but.
Would you consider making that in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
You already have a book.
Yeah, I mean, I have a YouTube channel where I've been doing like weekly,
Nice.
10-minute videos.
That's a good start. That's
Yeah.
Maybe
But yeah, I kind of like just this, like a doer. So I just want to let's just get in. Let me do it. Let's knock it out.
So consider keep making those YouTube videos, and then in the future you can chop those up even in a smaller into other channels. So it's great.
That's why I got her here right now. Yeah.
so you said that you're really focused on B2B.
Yeah.
That is still very broad. Are there any particular industries that you feel are best suited for this?
Yes. B2B, I can, if it's B2B, it's just a different, B2B is a different animal from getting, I found, I spent a long time trying to make B2C work, and I can't get the lists as good as I can in B2B. So yeah, right now I have someone doing peptides, which is medical. I've got someone in construction doing electrical vehicle chargers. I've got a regional marketer doing magazine subscriptions. I've got a PR firm. It's just a name of so it's like if it's B2B, sales is sales. Like it's just okay. You have a service. Whose pain are you trying to solve? Let's go talk to that person. Yeah. We go there on the right.
Okay, when you said you have somebody doing peptides,
Yes.
So are you basically trying to get them connected with other doctors that want to do the same thing?
The campaign is basically I'm literally just selling peptides to med spas. So we're basically setting about 6 sales appointments a day with med spas, and then we just basically sitting down. We're doing the whole thing too. We're actually doing the sales presentation for them. We're just basically presenting our catalog of peptides. Can you place an order? It's usually between $1,000 and $5,000. So yeah.
So I'm trying to understand the sales engine that you're setting up proposal over here. Setters, closers, and lead. That's basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The whole full cycle.
Got it.
We can chop it up. If you want to be the if you want to be the closer, you can be in the closer role. You know, that's totally fine. I have a process like that, you know.
Got it. But that's the selling engine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Right here.
Did you
Then back
any
to there.
cold email or LinkedIn outreach or just?
I spent a lot of time on cold email and just wasn't getting the results I liked. As far as that human conversation, still I feel like that human conversation is king. My email process is usually part of the process, but it's more of like a warm kind of constant engagement email versus cold. But yeah, I've definitely done a lot. I've spent a lot of money on instantly in Apollo. So yeah, I know what you're talking about as far as that. Yeah. Back there, and then back to you.
Ryan, sorry if I missed your presentation, but I guess what is like if I was a business and I wanted to go through you to help me with my sales, how does that process look like? I heard consulting, obviously, but what's like the time period? Am I paying per month? Am I paying, and how does that work?
Again, it really kind of depends. Like it's a value added, value given situation. So like for example, let's say your process is a slow sales process that requires a lot of upfront costs. I don't want to bear that burden. So there's usually an operations fee. But let's say you've got something where like everything's in place. We sell it today. I get paid. Like I've got a campaign where I do capital business loans. That's where like if the client signs the capital business loan that day, I'm funded the next day. So that's that quick turnaround. I'm more interested in just a flat, I'll work for a flat percentage of the deal. So usually that's why the consulting, like it's all a la carte. It's not really one size fits all, you know. And then you had another question?
Yes. Have you ever done anything where you can fill a seminar room?
Yeah, I could, because the way, so filling a seminar, what I would basically do, because I'm kind of doing that with a PR firm right now. They want to they actually want to book speaking gigs for their clients. So I'm essentially calling seminars. So I would just basically do is to fill the seminar, we would target who they want to be in that seminar, and then just, basically call them and invite them. Yeah. So yeah, that's very doable.
Cool. All right, well done. All right, excellent job. Excellent job. Now, while David's going to switch over because our next presenter is online, I want to take the time. I'll stand over here. I want to take the time to thank Hillsborough County and the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. Again, they are who host all the programming in this building, so we're very grateful to them. Also want to give a including myself, Miranda, Walter over here. Josh is not here today. Pamela as well. David Ponraj. Kate is here. Lynn, you saw earlier. Cassidy, who works here. And David Garza Marzan. And you're hitting the road sometime today. Yeah. Right. So glad you're here to make sure all this happens, because without David's tech knowledge, I'm sure we've done it before, but it doesn't go as smoothly. So thank you, David.
Of course.
Also, our organizer and social media manager is Tori Torres. She's over here right now. She hops around, tries to get different angles of her presenters. So for those of you, how many of you can see yourself up here presenting your business in sometime in the future, right? Let's see some of the hands, right? Great. Yeah, right. I encourage you to do so. Talk with any of the organizers afterwards. But the process is very simple. You go to 1millioncups.com/Tampa, and it'll go and take you to an application process. What the organization is looking for is fairly young companies. Can even be an idea still, as long as you have the ability to formalize a presentation that you just saw Ryan do. We highly encourage it. A lot of the people in this room have presented in the past and done a wonderful job. So if you are interested, keep coming back. See some wonderful presentations, get some ideas, but definitely apply. We'd love to have you up here. Yeah.
And we will work with you. So like if you apply and you've never presented before, a lot of people, this is their first time presenting to a group at all. We will do practice runs with you, as many as you need, at least one. So we will get you ready to go, and we'll go over your presentation. Usually it's after 1 million cups in this classroom, but we'll make sure you're ready to go and not just thrown up there to the world. So.
Yeah, trust me, whatever level of confidence you are right now, even if it's near zero, people like Dave and Miranda are very active in doing those. They'll get you up here. So yes, question.
Are we limited on how many presentations? Because when I signed up, I went through St. Petersburg.
I see.
So
yeah,
I'm scheduled in St. Petersburg on the 18th.
Yep.
But
you
this
are
is close.
Yeah, you are. I would recommend you do both.
Okay.
You can do multiple locations, and many have done that. So I highly recommend that you do that, and you will only get better as you perform one and know what you can improve upon for next time. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. It's about iterations and improvements.
Sorry to go off again, but that brings up a good point. So if you present here, you can always come back too. So we always recommend come back 6 months later, give us an update whether your business has either pivoted, failed, been successful. Come back. If it's a shorter period of time, we've got people come back in 3 months or less because something big happened, to come back and let us know. We will definitely try to find space for you. Right now, we're booked, I believe, all the way up to mid-May, but we always have people dropping out here and there. Not always. We always have people that drop out for unforeseen circumstances, so we can always try to fill.
And just to add on to that, we've had people get feedback and start some really good dialogues in this room that actually had them change the direction of their business and came back. And I mean, I was just flabbergasted the difference and the impact that it made. And so I've said this before, this is a solopreneur journey for many of you. And a lot of us are not as kind in our head as we are with other people. So being here and hearing other people going through the same things and learning and getting that feedback is really powerful.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Which is a great plug to come in for Mindset Mondays sometimes. All right, excellent. So we're ready for our second presenter. Daniel, if you are there, get yourself prepared. Everybody, please welcome Daniel Lowe from Folklore, all the way down in Miami area.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. Congrats on 11 years. That is a huge milestone. Is my audio okay? Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I will, I guess, preface really quick the type of feedback I'm looking for. This is a very early stage idea. So I'm looking primarily for like product and marketing feedback and also beta users. Getting ready for a soft launch next week. So I will share the details of that with you guys later. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I want you all to look at this box. For some of you, it may look exactly like this. For others, maybe a shoebox in a closet. For others, it may be a Google Drive folder, Dropbox folder, or even a folder on your computer. And the truth is, we all have this box. It is filled with our most precious family history and memories, stories and pictures. And we often overlook it because and we'd love to keep adding to it. But we often overlook it because it feels overwhelming and tedious. And the problem is that memory and therefore history is fleeting. And the traditional methods of keeping it are inevitably siloed, cumbersome, and too easily forgotten and procrastinated until it's too late. That's why I built Folklore. Folklore is a family history platform that helps families capture, share, and cherish stories across the generations. And we do all this through a all-in-one app that enables you to capture stories easily through audio, video recordings, writing, uploading media. You can invite family members and collaborate on shared events and stories together, offering different perspectives and unique stories you may not have known or heard about. And because it's all in one place, it kind of acts as your family history knowledge base. So our AI will analyze and transcribe all of your stories so you can then ask it questions about your family history. So I've created a little short demo. This isn't live, this is just for demo purposes of the app. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's very simple and clean, simple enough for anybody of any age to understand what's going on. So you can share a story, decide how you want to do that. Let's say you're going to sit down with your grandma, put the phone in front of you guys and just have a conversation with her. So let's record some audio. Let's start recording. So up here, you'll see the prompts that you can kind of cycle through to give you ideas, get those creative juices flowing on how to, route the conversation, things to talk about, topics to cover, things you can ask her. And the entire time this is going, we're uploading this in chunks so that even if you get cut off or close the app or something, you don't lose the audio entirely. So let's stop recording, save this. It all gets saved into your library. The way we're kind of organizing things is with branches and leaves, keeping with like the leaf motif. Didn't realize that rhymed. So the branches, you can think of them as like events shared, like shared events. Let's say like your family trip 2025 or a ski trip 2017 or something. You can invite family members to contribute to this branch, and they will each add their own stories of like, we went out and, Brandon clipped a rock and went flying down the hill and it was hilarious, type of thing. So there's a lot of family collaboration that can go on here. And here's where you can ask the app questions on your entire family history. And you can also create different types of content and media, digital, print, and physical products as well. So you can create storybooks, picture books. This is all, just a demo, but what it will do is, using your own stories and things that you've uploaded, it will then create a storybook in the art style length for the reading age you select. So you can, create really cool, engaging content for kids so that they're learning about your family history. So that is part of our business model. Slide. That's not. So part of the magic is that AI, because it's all stored in one place, it's going to have a really good understanding of you and your family and your history. So you can ask it questions like, when did we get to the US? how old were my grandparents when they met? And who was ultimately responsible for leaving Kevin in Home Alone? So our business model is a like traditional freemium SaaS with products here and there. So the plans, free plan, tier 1, tier 2, 3, with increasing amounts of storage and features for each. You can also purchase AI credits as a one-time thing. Each storybook is a little less than 10 credits. So if you do the math, it's roughly like $2 to $3 per storybook for the digital version. And then you can also purchase a print version, as well as different physical products that we don't have right now. The books we do. Those are just some ideas of things we want to do in the future. And that's pretty much it. Very short and sweet. We're on a mission to ensure no family story is lost. I encourage all of you to connect with me. I don't know why I said we. It's really just me working on this. That's my email, personal phone number. If you scan that QR code, it takes you to our website. Again, I'm building in production, so everything is prone to breaking. But the wait list should work. That's at the bottom of the screen. And I should have a MVP ready by next week. So yeah, again, looking for feedback on the product, marketing, how we can get it out to more people, as well as beta users. So thank you all. And yeah.
Very good. Well done, Dan. What can we as a community do for you?
I guess the primary thing would be feedback on the product, as well as ideas on marketing. I'm, like I said, very early stage. I have no users besides myself. I'm working on this by myself. So everything from the branding, the colors, terminology, anything and everything could be worked on, but primarily product, marketing, and users.
Excellent, thank you. And then since it's virtual, I'll help facilitate the questions. So once again, raise your hand, Stavros.
So awesome presentation, really, really interesting niche product here. Taking a new tech product off the ground, I think you're asking for feedback you don't need, because what you have here is really good to get started. You can always keep polishing this thing and you're going to learn more and more from users. But what you have here is enough of a use case that you get people using it. Once you do that, we can start thinking about, virality. How do you move virality into your product so that every user gets you new users? You can start thinking about all that stuff, but don't get stuck in like polishing this thing yet, because like user feedback is going to be the driver. So not a question, but I would hate to see something so cool kind of get stuck in paralysis mode.
Very good. And
I appreciate that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I could hear him okay.
Great. Right?
So I just more of a comment, and I've already shared it a couple family members. Awesome name, great branding. I mean, I love the emotion that you can sell with this thing. So I think this is something that you knocked out of the park with. So I'm excited to see its journey.
Nice.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Miranda?
So I'm kind of disappointed that there's no Taylor Swift link when I saw that, and it's just a Swiftie mom, but and then I'm also glad there's not. So you'd asked for feedback on marketing. I am always a proponent of a picture speaks a thousand words, and getting video. I think if you were able to get somebody at a holiday event where the grandkid has their phone in front of them and says, "Grandma, can you tell me that story again?" And then you could pivot to, you could make it really kind of dark, and like a year later, grandma's not around, and we have that, or you could just, pass it around. Everybody tell a story. I think that you're tugging at the heartstrings. The books don't work. I got my mom one of those books that you fill in a story about it, and she's not going to write that right now. I think just putting the phone in front of her and having tell a story really does take this to the next level. So good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really good advice. If you look on the website, that's exactly what I'm going for. It's a humongous hero video of exactly that. If grandparent sitting on their front porch, smiling, laughing, talking to somebody. And I'm gonna have more of those types of videos. So thank you for that advice.
David?
Yeah, I know, great presentation. Kind of piggybacking off what Miranda said, and we kind of talked about it yesterday. I think kind of going in a direction or a way to market this is for those like end of life type celebration stuff. You know, my girlfriend's grandmother passed not that long ago, and we had trouble trying to get everybody to collaborate on getting photos sent over. So my girlfriend and I had to knock it out like in a night because they had to be due the next day, and everybody else wanted to contribute. But if you can set this up like ahead of time with the family, like, hey, whenever you take pictures of trips or something, start putting it into this one shared drive with everybody. So when that's ready to go, everybody knows where it's at, and they're not looking and trying to stress over finding the all that stuff that they've taken for years. So great job.
You're totally right. I just went through that last year. You just went through that, and I was the one also charged with making that tribute celebration video. So I know exactly what it's like, but I'll include that in my marketing next time.
Coleman?
Really wonderful. I love the product. I think it's very interesting, and I echo the sentiment. A really wonderful niche market here that you can do a lot of cool things with. One of the things that stood out the most to me was in the interview process, or when you can do that it gives you prompts to ask the person, because a lot of times we sit down with these conversations and we don't know what to ask or what questions. And so I think giving the user prompts to guide the conversation is really helpful. I'm interested, is there any kind of public sharing quality of it? Like if your grandma has some really cool stories, is there any way to share grandma's cool stories with other users on the app or other users in the platform?
Yes, I have thought about that. I don't know exactly where I land on it because any other app, I love social engagement and getting users interacting with each other. I think it really helps engagement. And like a solo user coming back to the platform to get that social presence or like feeling that there's other people there and like there's movement and new things. But I don't know how it would work here all that well. I feel like it might encourage the wrong type of behavior where people are interacting more with other people's history rather than their own and focus more on reading or listening to and hearing other stories as opposed to creating and recording their own, which is what I want. So I don't know how to do that the best way. I probably won't launch with a social feature like that yet, but it's something I'm thinking about for the future for sure.
Walter?
So great presentation, Daniel. I appreciate it. And piggybacking off of David's comments about the for the end of life thing, consider you can right now go to look for funeral homes or those kind of people and see if they'll test it. I mean, they already have who you're looking for, for that target. So consider that.
That is a good idea. I am also so in the vein of looking for beta users who our potential distribution channels and partners are. So that's definitely one. Thank you for that.
And also churches.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Daniel. I think this is a great idea. Love the presentation. I was thinking from a marketing standpoint, things like ancestry.com or people that are looking up their family's information or trying to create and share with the rest of the family the things that they've already been learning could be potential videos there. But also I think people that live in different places from their families. As an example, military members where I'm, halfway around the world, my family is here, or, I'm originally from, whatever country, and I'm also trying to keep my family connected with the types of things that I'm doing or things that are going on where I am today, collecting that history.
Yeah, I'm in that same vein, I'm also thinking about how to do like Zoom recordings. I don't know how to do that yet. It's probably super easy. But that's definitely something I'm looking into for sure. Thank you.
Two things.
Project so we can hear.
Yeah, louder.
Two things. Maybe, and I'm not so savvy in those things, but I'm having an idea about posting reels from your app with your app signature, the logo and the name into Facebook. This way it will be marketing, and at the same time it will drive sales. Like they will say, who's that thingy? What does it do? And it'll be the post about the program, about the gathering, a photo within Facebook, and will drive a huge wave of question marks towards your thing, and always accompany it with some sort of a trailer that will say, what do you do? What's the difference? Why is it an ad to using Facebook and the other AI add-ons that you mentioned? One other thing, I belong to a humble creative writing group, and most of which people are always interested to write their memoirs. So if AI nowadays is not an F, it's definitely an option, and you already embedded it in there. If it takes option to choose what, when, where, who, and then mold it into a memoir for the grandma, that's the best thing ever, especially without them having to do the effort, because my colleagues in the writing group always suffer from, I need a place to get the prompts, put them together, and oh, they bought me this gift, and then it was so hard for me, and I lost the text. You know how they're not tech savvy. Yeah. So if everything is done for them, the data is already being fed, and the memoir comes up, and it's a legacy for the family. So also to highlight this, it'll be another stream for buyers for future members.
Thanks. Brandon?
So Walter went the dark route when he mentioned the funeral homes, and I appreciate that. The opposite side of that, and it might be something that you add to the app later, is that there could be an iPad or multiple iPads set up at a wedding, where people are providing videos that become part of this folklore, and then the family can be invited to continue. But at least there's always those videos where is there one piece of advice you want to give the family? And I think that you could either do it as a QR code, you just do a one-time post, or become part of their family unit.
That's a great idea. I actually have a wedding coming up, so I might do that. Thank you.
Ryan?
Hey, Daniel, I think the idea is really great. As far as collecting the memories, it feels, just by looking at it, kind of like a pain to have to put my phone in front of me and press a button whenever someone is saying that I think might turn into a good memory. So I think that a couple of ways that you might be able to get around that might be if there's some way that you can hook into phone calls or even FaceTime conversations when people allow it, of course, and just record those. Like if I'm FaceTiming grandma and Folklore is like, hey, do you want to save that audio clip? And then you can just hit yes. I think that's a lot easier to do. And second part is a bit of a concern with the AI part. I think any kind of hallucination whatsoever when asking the AI a question about your family can potentially be catastrophic to your business model in general. If it's making stuff up about grandma, making her sound like someone that she absolutely wasn't based off of some kind of weird use of language that she might have had because, I don't know, grandma might have dementia or something. So I think that kind of thing needs to be thought about a little bit because that's a non-starter right off the bat, in my opinion.
You're totally right. And so that's another, little farther down the line piece of, I guess, advice or help that I will need is, somebody that's more AI savvy than I am. I know enough to hook it up and, give it initial basic instructions, but in order to really train it and get, better quality output and minimize hallucinations, yeah, that's something I really don't know how to do. So I'm aware. I'm aware of my faults for sure.
We have Julia, Adrian, and then myself, and we'll close out.
I was actually going to say, kind of piggybacking on what Miranda was talking about as far as going with weddings. Actually, hospitals where ones that focus on birthing and having babies and offering. I know you're trying to be very digital, But if you had a physical product card, because a lot of people will show up at those places and they don't actually have a gift or anything, or they show up and they want to have a card, they want to do something. That's a great purchase and it can get the parents started, maybe with some sort of special membership for a newborn baby that lasts for a certain amount of time, and then it gives them a place to put stuff, and now they're going to be customers for life from you because they kind of, if they put all of their baby's memories in there from the start, then they're kind of just gonna be on your app forever at that point. So I think that would be a really great way to
really
lock in business. And I think having that physical gift that someone can see it, buy it, and give it to the parent also makes it a different type of product that you can give to people so they can kind of start recording those memories.
Really?
Yeah. I was just thinking about that yesterday, actually, like a physical thing, but for sure the babies, that's a really big one. Good advice. Thank you.
Adrian?
I don't know if this fits into what you're doing or not, but with maybe partnering with Legacy Media Productions to get people's stories together or not. If that's something that may mesh with what you're doing.
What do you mean, like legacy media, that they have all of these articles and stories already stored up and then just asking them for it, integrating with them or something?
Those that are offering to do legacy videos and
Oh.
trying to get everybody to collect their stories, because what I'm understanding is you're getting those stories together for people, correct? And it might
Yes.
it might be an easier way for people to be submitting them instead of trying to get family members that only have a certain amount of time in different states, different countries or whatnot, that you might be able to empower that to get it together.
I can't hear you too well. You're saying, are you referring to like the Ancestry and like other places where people are already storing their stories to talk with them and partner with them? Is that what you're saying?
No, people that have a business creating a legacy video for a family or a person. And
Okay.
wanting to collect everybody's stories to put into that. And it seems, to me, it seems what you're doing would facilitate that in an easier way to give it all to the producer. Wrangling all the squirrels.
Well, yes. There's already, have you heard of VidDay? VIDDAY? We just used that recently for, I think it was my dad's last birthday. And they did a really good job of exactly that, of enabling a multi-party collection of videos and other media into one shared thing. Kind of what I do. I'm kind of taking some inspiration from them. But yes, otherwise it would just be, here's an email address and send all your stuff to this email type of thing. So yeah, making it easier for multiple people to collaborate on a shared event or thing, right?
Dan, I have one last question for you before we close out. So I think you did a great job in the structure of the presentation. You really highlighted and made it easy for us to see the problem. We all have that box or whatever it is, or we all have those file folders on our computer. I see that potentially a large amount of your users will kind of be like solo users. They're doing it for the family, but they are the manager of that virtual box, if you will, on Folklore. Not to get dark again, but when they pass, if it's a surviving spouse with children and that individual passes at some point, think about triggers that membership will be reminded to their left behind emails to those other people in the family to be able to access, reminded about it and able to access it, even if they don't remember a password from 5 years ago, etc. It'll be a pleasant surprise, but it might be forgotten if they're not made aware of it.
Absolutely. That's something I've thought about and building in the future for. towards.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank
Well-
you. Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for
Thank
the
you for-
opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for joining us from all the way down there. We invite you to come up and join us in person sometime and share us your progress. We'd love to hear that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was great. We had two great presenters today. Really pleased with that. Please, again, remember to share this with your network. But we always want to end with a few announcements. If David, if you will.
Yep, so after this at 10:30, and Wolves already knows I'm gonna call in. We have Cigar City Toastmasters in this room. What is Cigar City Toastmaster?
What is Cigar City Toastmasters? It's a place to work on your communication and leadership skills. We'll be right in this room. I'll be right in that chair at 10:30. It doesn't cost you nothing but your time to join us and see what we're about.
Well worth it.
Thank you. Tonight at 5:30, we have Power Testimation, AI Enhanced Test Management. That is in this room at 5:30 to 7:30. And then tomorrow morning, we have our very own Dr. Shane Smith. How to sell when you hate to sell. Shane?
Yeah. So once a month I do a workshop called How to Sell When You Hate to Sell. So you might, I encourage you to use Ryan for his business, but you should also know how to sell yourself, right? And this is about making that sales conversation more comfortable in it so you can become more confident. And it's a simple process. We do a workshop, a 90-minute workshop tomorrow. It starts at 10 o'clock. I invite you and encourage you to come join us, and we'll see you there.
Shane. On Tuesday at 10 a.m. Through Action Zone, we have content creation marketing class. That is with Diane Ellie. So if you want to learn marketing, a little bit of social media management, how to create content in general, join that class. She teaches you how to make reels. She teaches you how to use some of the features on some of the social platforms. Even just to get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll get there as you continue to do so. And then right back at on Wednesday at 9 a.m. we have 1 Million Cups, and then we have a podcast workshop at 10:30 with WSF as well next month.
Nice.
Let's get to networking.
You see that there's a lot of good stuff that happened here, so please keep returning. And I just want to, we can't wake him up now, but affectionately, I didn't ask his name earlier, but one of our youngest visitors ever here, I affectionately already dubbed him Egg in honor of a show, but keep coming back, including young ones like that. So thank you, guys. Good job.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
Great. Literally, like perfect timing.
Yeah, I was like, you're getting there, so I'm like, these are the stop English. I look at it's like briefly, and like, I mean,
Yeah, it was like one of those things like slide.